more white man lives.
Okay, I want to open up with Jesse Owens. Jesse Owens. There's a lot of talk in the news about Colin, what's his name? Kaepernick? Oh, his last name always confused, Kaepernick. And some of our people may think that he was the first one to stand up for against no, to stand up against racial oppression, the injustice against black people. Our people, blacks and Latinos, are in a state of, as a permanent underclass here in America and the European nations. Prior to Colin Kaepernick, there was a man called Jesse Owens who won 5 gold medals for the United States of Babylon. Let's look at this video, bro. It's not that long. And this is when everybody was saying that Hitler snubbed him, but watch what happens.
Jesse Owens, the man who inspired a nation and became a cultural icon.
As the day is going on, though, it becomes clear that an African American is going to win the high jump. A few minutes before the competition ends, Hitler leaves the stadium. It starts raining, he's gone. Cornelius Johnson, African American, wins the gold medal. David Albritton, Jesse Owens, his best friend, wins the silver medal. They're both black. Hitler's not there to congratulate them. There's a big uproar. How come? Why didn't he congratulate them? The Germans, for their part, and remember at this time they're trying to please as many people as possible, not antagonize people, say Hitler was simply adhering to his schedule. He meant no offense.
Now, when Owens ultimately won his first medal, there is this legend that he was snubbed by Hitler. Your book really sort of dispels that myth.
Well, there are two things. Now, you know, he wins his first gold medal the day after Cornelius Johnson wins the gold medal in the high jump. And this story is already out there, the snubbing of the African-American athlete rather than the snubbing of Jesse Owens. By the time, what happens overnight, in the midst of this uproar, the head of the International Olympic Committee tells Hitler, this is unacceptable. We don't want a political controversy here. You either congratulate everyone or you congratulate no one. Hitler says, fine, I won't congratulate anyone. And again, this is 1936. Hitler does not want to antagonize the head of the Olympic Committee on the first day of the Games. But technically, I don't think you could say he snubbed him because he was told not to congratulate him publicly.
Well, by eyewitness accounts at the time, including Owens himself, he related that he didn't feel snubbed by Hitler.
That's another element of the story. The story all over the United States in particular is how could the Chancellor of Germany show such disrespect for our black athletes? Banner headlines everywhere. Hitler snubs Jesse Owens. Jesse Owens keeps telling anyone who'll listen, I wasn't snubbed. He couldn't congratulate me. In fact, I think he waved at me, and I waved back at him. He said this several times. Some of the black papers in the U.S. reported that Hitler treated Owens quite well, based on Owens' own comments. And in fact, one of the African-American reporters who was covering the games in Berlin said, there was a headline in the Pittsburgh Courier, the African-American paper in Pittsburgh, you know, Hitler lauds Jesse Owens, et cetera, et cetera. So there was a difference of opinion at the time. And Owens maintained for a long time that he was not snubbed, and in fact said when he got home to the U.S. after the Olympics, when he was campaigning for the Republican presidential candidate that fall, Alf Landon, that it wasn't Hitler who snubbed him, but Franklin Roosevelt.
The white athletes were invited to the White House by FDR, and Jesse was not invited, as well as any of the other black athletes.
There wasn't much in the way of the government congratulating him. In fact, he did not get an invite to the White House or receive a telegram or anything like that.
So he said that Franklin Delano Roosevelt is the one that actually snubbed him, the president of the United States, who invited all the white athletes back to the White House, but not Jesse Owens. So he said it wasn't so much Hitler, it was FDR. Read on. I mean, go on. He won 5 gold medals for America.
His fame having preceded him, and in stark contrast to the way he had been treated in the States, Owens found himself greeted warmly by the German people.
When Owens won, the crowd, which was mostly German, really was enthusiastic in its support for him.
Every time he stepped on the track, the crowd went wild for Jesse Owens. And that was a surprise to him. He had been led to believe that he would be received in hostile fashion. And in fact, it was exactly the opposite.
To have won my 3 events in the games here at Berlin. It's been the first time since 1924, about 12 years ago, and I'm very proud to have won. A wonderful competition here, a wonderful stadium, and a wonderful crowd, and the days have been very nice. And the people here in Germany have been very nice to me, and I'm very glad to display my talent here.
Well, all righty then. So it was the United States of America that snubbed him, opposed to the Germans. That was all propaganda. So now, watch the next video. Let's go to 63 Black Power Salute.
I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream.
In 1968, America was being torn apart. It was involved in Vietnam, and civil rights legislation had been pushed through, but black Americans were saying it's not enough. We want to turn to more radical solutions.
You had, at that time, Dr. Martin Luther King and his followers. You had Malcolm X and his followers.
American unity sees the only hope for the black man in America in a strong Africa. And
Black Power was saying, we want change now, and we insist on it. This isn't just a request, this is a demand.
Very few people had the avenue to tell people how it really was or how we felt about a certain issue. You had to have a platform.
To win gold medals for one's country and still feel a second-class citizen is the bitter paradox facing many colored Americans.
And because we were black athletes, what we were supposed to do is run real fast and go home, smile, get pats on the back, and still be relegated to second-class living.
Tommy Smith sets a new world record in the 200 meters with John Carlos taking the bronze.
And I'm supposed to stand up there and look at a flag, put my hand over my heart, saying how proud I am because this flag has represented me? I don't think so, because it did not. So when the national anthem started playing, I was not looking at the ground. I was praying, the Lord's Prayer. My head bowed, and my fist went up in the air. I wore black gloves to represent social power, or black power. I wore socks, not shoes, to represent poverty. I wore a black scarf around my neck to symbolize the lynching, the hangings that black folks went through while building this country.
And their fists clenched defiantly in the air. I think that that is one of the most abiding political images of the entire century.
Of course, remember the images of the Black Power salute on the rostrum. And you don't, of course, at the time, I didn't really realize the significance of it. I was in Jamaica as a little boy, didn't know anything about it. And of course, even now, you remember the powerful images.
The people sitting at home watching was shocked because what we stood for was equality, a social equality. And the structure, the power structure, did not equate black folks with equality.
A lot of black people generally were better off 10, 15, 20 years down the line because they made that stance. So people have a lot to thank them for while they actually suffered.
Tommy Smith and bronze medalist John Carlos were sent home from Mexico and never allowed to compete for the USA again. Back home, both men lost their jobs and faced death threats.
We were athletes dedicated to making a change in the 60s. And that's what we did. We're very proud black men.
Now you notice it said that they came home and they both lost their jobs and were never allowed to compete again.
Did y'all hear that?
For America. That's how America treated them. So now I had always wondered how come Tommy Smith held up his right hand and John Carlos held up his left hand. See the white guy in front? The white guy had a pair of black gloves. And he said, listen, I got one pair of black gloves. The white guy's from Australia.
Okay.
During that time, Australia had apartheid.
Right.
So the white guy gave them his black gloves to symbolize black power. So that's why one held up the right, one held up the left. The white guy was ostracized in Australia for even standing. They told him, don't stand with the niggas.
Well, exactly. You know that's what they told him.
That's what they told him. But he came in second. The Edomite came in second. Tommy Smith, American black, came in first. The white guy came in second. And John Carlos from Cuba came in third. So they told the white guy not to stand with them. So he did. He lost everything too. But both the brothers lost everything when they came back to America.
This brings me to mind because a lot of, like you heard how much they lost, right? Mm-hmm. Y'all hear me? And you heard the brother said, but they had to do it. They had to do it. And a lot of people don't understand that kind of stamina and strength. I remember there was a video that me and you watched back in the days, and it's still out there now. The movie Braveheart. The hell, the movie per se. But there was a line in it that I think is very relevant to everything that we just watched. Then the line goes, every man dies but not every man really lives. You remember that? You know what that statement means? Who knows what that statement means?
Yeah, at the time, Scotland was in.
Well, forget about Scotland. Just tell me about the name, because the situation could apply right now.
Right. All right. So he was saying instead of living like a slave under England, that's not a real life. To live is to get your freedom, and if not, die for it.
In other words, living a life of second-class citizenship, living under permanent underclass ain't worth a life at all. And if you don't stand for anything, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. You got to have some kind of backbone to stand up for something, man. Exactly. Be willing to die for something.
You know, it's funny that Tommy Smith said during the national anthem, he said the Lord's Prayer, because I'd seen that before. So when I was in the academy and they had all of us stand for the national anthem, that's what I did. So when we got in the locker room, the black dudes around me said, "Nigga, what was you saying? That wasn't the national anthem." I said the Lord Prayer. I'm going to tell on you. That's the black. You got to watch black people. I'm going to tell on you. I said, you just do what you got to do, bro.
Why did they say they were going to tell on you?
Because I'm supposed to be saying, I pledge allegiance.
No, beyond that. Because they were scared of Massa.
There you go. Exactly.
You knew that he didn't say it and you didn't tell me?
Exactly.
You were fired. You this, you that. And so the Negro will move in the white suburbs. 100 white folks living all around him, and that one Negro will live up there quiet, scared as a mouse. Exactly. He'd rather live like that than to be with his own people where he could be comfortable and live like a man.
Exactly.
That's a sickness among us.
Get me Isaiah 30 and 5. Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 5.
The book of Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 5. They were all ashamed of a people that could not profit them.
This is a prophecy of what is going to happen. It happened during the time of Babylon, Persia, Media, Greece, and Rome, and it shall happen so again here in America, United States of Babylon. Read that again.
They were all ashamed of a people that could not profit them.
Because they hope the white man and woman can profit us. That's what our people hope. When Jesse says keep hope alive, hope in the white man, changing his ways and helping us. That's what
all is saying.
That's what he's saying. Read
Complete
that again.
Statement.
They were all ashamed of a people that could not profit them, nor be in help nor profit, but a shame and also a reproach.
So from there, now let's look at Colin Kaepernick. Give me the video where it says Colin Kaepernick vows not to stand for national anthem. Very powerful statement. You know the brother's catching a lot of backlash for it. I believe only 2 people are standing by him.
All eyes are on embattled quarterback Colin Kaepernick, who vows to sit out the national anthem again at Thursday night's game.
When there's significant change, and I feel like that flag represents what it's supposed to represent, and this country is representing people the way that it's supposed to, I'll stand.
The game is billed as Military Night on the San Diego Chargers website. It's a tribute to the hundreds of thousands of military personnel who live in the city, well known for its patriotism.
Oh, say, can you see?
Here's more irony. Performing the national anthem will be U.S. Navy Petty Officer Stephen Powell. The firestorm over Kaepernick's refusal to stand has led to a major debate. Even Hillary Clinton's running mate, Senator Tim Kaine, is weighing in.
You got to respect people's ability to act according to their conscience. I mean, I'd do it differently. I think if you really thought about issues and about this country, you'd do it differently.
Now, Kaepernick is being blasted by CBS Sports announcer Boomer Esiason.
Disgraceful, despicable, and I can't even say it in strong enough terms. To use an NFL field for a political statement is absolutely ridiculous.
But the quarterback is getting support on social media with the just-created hashtag Veterans for Kaepernick. This vet posted her photo with the caption, "I served 5 years, and I support you, Kaepernick. Sitting or standing, exercise your rights." Basketball legend Kareem Abdul-Jabbar threw his support to Kaepernick on CNN.
Maybe people don't like his style or his timing, but you know, he's trying to call attention to issues that are important to him, and I think he has the right to do that.
And here's one more thing sure to generate controversy. Look at the socks Kaepernick has worn since August 10th. It's a cartoon image of a pig in a police officer's cap.
So, from there, give me the next one. I told you I got some video I want to show. I'm building up to something. Give me the video that says Veterans Defend, the Young Turks video.
Colin Kaepernick is a guy I had on my fantasy football team a couple of years ago. I drafted him early, thought he was going to be great. He screwed me. And I've never forgiven him until now. So I tell you that because previously to this story, I had no love for Colin Kaepernick. And I have no interest in defending him for whatever other reasons you might imagine. And the other day, he sat down for the national anthem and instead of standing up, and he released a statement as to why. Now, I don't love that kind of protest. I'm a little too jingoistic and rah-rah, American flag, don't burn it, national anthem. I love America. I love the ideas and the ideals of America, and I think we should rise up to those ideals. And I don't think the right wing owns America. I think that's our America. Okay, so for all those reasons, I wouldn't have done it the way he did. But number one, he had a perfectly good reason. Number two, what he did in a form of protest is actually the most American thing you can do, and part of the reason I love America. And number three, now the backlash against him is so severe and so stupid that I'm going to say, okay, that's it. You turned me into a Colin Kaepernick fan. It wasn't even Kaepernick's actions as much as the reaction that has me saying, I'm not going to stand with Kaepernick, I'm going to sit with Kaepernick. So first, let me explain, in case you didn't see, here's what Kaepernick said, why he didn't stand for the national anthem before a very important preseason game. He said, I'm not going to stand up to show pride in a flag for a country that oppresses black people and people of color. To me, this is bigger than football, and it would be selfish on my part to look the other way. There are bodies in the street and people getting paid leave and getting away with murder. So now, some people take great offense at those, but there are bodies in the street. A lot of unarmed black men have been shot. Is there a history of racism in this country? You would have to be blind, deaf, and dumb in many different ways to think that there wasn't racism in this country, let alone a very legitimate case to be made that it exists very strongly today. Not as strongly as it did in the past, obviously, but we can go through all those stats. Blacks and whites do marijuana at the same rate. Blacks get arrested at 4 times the rate for the same exact crime. So, and blacks are killed disproportionately by police officers when they are unarmed. So we've done all that. So he has a perfectly good point to make about how that flag and that anthem is not standing up for what it's supposed to stand up for. So I'm going to sit so that I can draw attention to it and maybe help fix it so we could be more proud of our country. Okay, that's a message that seems at least within the realm of debate, doesn't it? No, apparently for the critics, how dare he? How to say that you will dissent in a country built on dissent? Outrageous. Okay, so Alex Boone, who used to be a former teammate, now plays for the Vikings, said, you should have some fucking respect for people who served. Yeah, that seems pretty respectful. All right, so we're going to get to the people who actually served in a second because Boone did not. And he's not allowed to speak for them. They can speak for themselves. And wait till you hear what they had to say. Now, but I want to go to a really amazing and more important part of this story because Alex Boone's a knucklehead, football player, doesn't have much of an effect. But the people in the front office of the football organizations have a big effect. Some idiots have been claiming, oh, Colin Kaepernick did this to help his career and get attention. How is this going to help his career? Well, Bleacher Report, Mike Freeman, great job. He went out, reached out to 7 different executives and said, okay, hey, what do you think? Do you like this move? Are you more likely to sign Kaepernick? Are you less likely to sign Kaepernick? And the answer was overwhelming. Oh, hell no. They hated this move by Kaepernick. And they're pretty much saying that we're going to blacklist him from the league. So let me give you the exact quotes. One NFL front office executive said, I don't want him anywhere near my team. He's a traitor. Oh, that's insane. That's insane. Okay, now it gets worse. One executive said he hasn't seen this much collective dislike among front office members regarding a player since Ray Caruth. Remember Ray Caruth? He's still in prison for the plot to murder his pregnant girlfriend. This is a league where people have killed others and be treated as huge heroes. I mean, look, I like Ray Lewis as a football player, but he was involved in that fight where people died. People have done drunk driving, killed people, and domestic abuse, and the list goes on and on. They're all totally fine, but a guy does a peaceful protest where he doesn't stand for the national anthem for a legitimate political reason. The traitor! That's it! Oh, you hate him. See, this isn't about Colin Kaepernick. It's about these guys. These guys who react in that way. They're saying to the Kaepernicks of the world, don't show us the ugly side of America. We know that it exists. If we didn't think it existed, we wouldn't have this kind of over-the-top reaction. We know it exists. For God's sake, don't show it to us because it makes us uncomfortable. Okay, now, here's another executive. Says about Kaepernick, he has no respect for our country. Fuck that guy. These guys all seem so respectful. One guy politely sits during the national anthem. The other guys are like, oh, no respect to fuck. Right? Okay. These are executives. Another said that if an owner asked him to sign Kaepernick, he would consider resigning rather than do it. Oh, you would lose your incredibly lucrative, wonderful job because that's how much you hate someone for pointing out that blacks might get treated a little different in this country than white people. That just to have that debate outrages you so much to your core that you think, oh my God, I'd rather lose everything than to have that debate. That tells you something about our country, man. There's a sickness here. Like people know, they know that there's a problem. They just don't want to address it. They're scared to death of it. And Kaepernick has brought that up, and so I sit with Kaepernick. I didn't agree with his form of protest, but you guys are making me support him even more. Now get a load of how much it's going to hurt him. According to Bleacher Report, each executive said he believes Kaepernick will likely get released by the 49ers and never play in the NFL again. All because he did a political protest, which is the core of what America is. If you love America so much that you want everybody to stand for the national anthem, you would say, oh, that's a political protest at the core of the country, at the core of our rights, at the core of our Constitution. Bless his heart. But you don't love America. You don't even understand America. All you know is he's them, I'm me, I'm going to protect what I got, and I'm going to fire him and make sure he never works. How dare he question me and my comfort? One other general manager said, in my career, I have never seen a guy so hated by front office guys as Kaepernick. And that's the NFL we're talking about. Okay, now, I'm going to get to the veterans in a second and let them speak for themselves. But I want to go to one civil rights activist who's a legend, Harry Belafonte. He did it at the height of his career. He did civil rights protests. And at the time, there was a fury unleashed on him as well. And now the Muhammad Alis and the Harry Belafontes are celebrated. Like, oh, that was so great that they spoke out. What courage they had. He says, hey, knuckleheads, this guy's got courage too. It might cost them millions of dollars. It might cost them everything, and he's doing it anyway. Belafonte says, I think that when a black voice is raised in protest to oppression, those who are comfortable with our oppression are the first to criticize us for daring to speak out against it. That's a great quote. That's a powerful quote. Those who are comfortable with our oppression are the first to criticize us for daring to speak out against it. That is exactly what's happening here.
Pause right there. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, I didn't even know that was coming up. No matter what you do in this society, no matter how great you are, you can make billions of dollars, 5 gold medals. We were seeing these kinds of examples. No matter what kind of greatness, whatever job you have, whatever career you do, you can do great wonders for them. But the minute you speak out for yourself and your people, they don't give a damn how much you did for them. Just because you stood up and others may follow him, we'll cut you down. We don't care what you've done for us. We don't care how much you loved us, how many of our babies you took care of while you didn't take care of your own. I'm talking about this babysitters and all that. We don't care about any of that. Brothers, you've built all kinds of buildings and did all kinds of work. If you stand up for your own people, and if you cause others to follow you, we will cast you down like you was never nothing. That's the message. That's the message. This is a heavy thought here. That is something else. That's amazing.
I think that when a black voice is raised in a protest to oppression, those who are comfortable with our oppression are the first to criticize us for daring to speak out against it. Give me that in Amos 5:8.
Verse 10. They hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly.
That's what the Bible says. That's what Harry Belafonte was saying. That when a black voice is raised in protest to oppression, those who are comfortable with our oppression, we want you to be in that permanent underclass.
We want you as slaves.
Exactly. Exactly. They're the first ones to criticize us for daring. How dare you speak against us oppressing you? Open your damn black lips.
It's just like I'm poking you with a poker. You screaming because and they're mad at you for screaming.
Like that blonde. What's her name? That damn demon.
Let's look at that video. Tommy Larry, that demon. This demon. Now, y'all think the white woman don't feel like the white man. This white woman will reveal to you she's of one mind with her white man. Some of them go, I got the white woman loves us. Okay. Come on.
Welcome back. Oh, Colin Kaepernick, I've got some final thoughts for you, bud. See, our buddy Colin decided not to stand for the national anthem because, well, he will not stand to show pride in a flag or a country that oppresses black people. For him, it's bigger than football. He would be selfish to look the other way. After all, according to Kaepernick, there are bodies in the street and people getting paid leave and getting away with murder. So let me go ahead and eviscerate this mouth diarrhea for you sentence by sentence. Here we go. Colin, I support the First Amendment. I support your right to freedom of speech and expression. Go for it, bud. It's this country, the country that you have so much disdain for, that allows you the right to speak your mind. It protects your right to be a whiny, indulgent, attention-seeking crybaby. It also protects my right to shred you for it. See, the national anthem and our flag, they are not symbols of black America, white America, brown America, or purple America for that matter. There are patriots of every race that have fought and died for this country, and we honor the flag and sing the anthem as a reminder. And Colin, if this country disgusts you so much, leave. I guarantee there are thousands and thousands of people around the world that would gladly take your spot. Because those that don't live under this flag are banging on the door to get in, not get out. Remember that. Is our country perfect? No. But what have you done to make it better? What's your contribution? Sitting there like a fool? What selfish is you, buddy? And what's your message to black kids, to people of color? That their biggest contribution to justice and self-fulfillment is to parade around with a chip on their shoulder like a victim? And Colin, how dare you sit there and blame white people for the problems of minority communities? After all, aren't you half white? Didn't two white parents adopt you after yours weren't willing to raise you? For a racist and horrible country filled with racist and horrible white people, that's really something, isn't it? Maybe you should also decline the paycheck from the white owner of your team or the white fans that buy your merchandise and fill the stands to watch you play. There's a statement I don't see you making anytime soon. And Colin, who's getting away with murder? I'd like to see some evidence to back that up because that's a pretty strong claim. And what about the oppression of black people? It's funny. Through that 6-year career of yours, you choose to start sitting now? What changed to make you so resentful of your country? Please tell me how you're oppressed. Is it because the black unemployment rate is double what it is for whites, or the homicide rate, or the dropout rate, or the percentage in minority communities on food stamps? Well, we've had a black president for almost 8 years now. Maybe he failed you. We also have a black woman in charge of the Justice Department. Maybe she failed you too. Or maybe it's the liberals, your saviors, which have run your communities into the ground. Where does the buck stop? When will those in black communities take a step back and take some responsibility for the problems in black communities? Because it seems to me blaming white people for all of your problems might make you the racist. But Colin, you don't care about any of that. You want to make a political statement. But here's the deal, Colin. I've got loved ones overseas right now fighting for your right to sit on a bench and bitch and moan about your perceived oppression while making $19 million a year to throw a ball. So show a little respect. And if you want to sit down, now's the time on the bench because you suck. But perhaps you should stand up for the anthem. God bless from Dallas. Good night and take care.
The white woman's the devil the Bible speaks of. I want y'all to know that.
That's good. That's good. But you know, I tell you one thing though. That's good that she spoke that way. It's good that she spoke that way because a lot of us got our heads up America's ass. That's what the problem is. And she's a wake-up call.
Now, she said perhaps the black woman that was over the Department of Justice failed us. Can we go to the next article about the Department? She said Obama too. His 8 years in office is going to change 400 years of systematic racism. Here's a little 8 years. Are you kidding me? 12 key highlights from the Department of Justice's scathing Ferguson report. So the white woman, the devil the Bible speaks of, Miss Laura, she said perhaps it was Department of Justice that failed us. Yes, they've remember, again, these black people that are put in these key positions do not have the power or authority to change nothing. This is what black people need to understand. Let's read some of the key points that the Department of Justice found out about Ferguson. Okay, the city's practices, meaning Ferguson, are shaped by revenue rather than by public safety needs. Go up. Ferguson's law enforcement practices are shaped by the city's focus on revenue rather than by public safety needs. So in other words, the cops do what they do there for money purposes, to bring in money for the city opposed to public safety. Go down?
Like tickets and stuff like that.
Exactly. The 67% of African Americans in Ferguson account for 93% of arrests made from 2012 to 2014. African Americans experienced disparate impact in nearly every aspect of Ferguson's law enforcement system. Here's what happened when a 32-year-old black man was seen resting in his car after playing basketball. Without any cause, the officer accused the man of being a pedophile. Remember, he just played basketball, resting in his car, referring to the presence of children in the park, and ordered the man out of his car for a pat-down, although the officer made no reason to believe the man was armed. Come on. A Ferguson woman parked her car illegally once in 2007. It ended up costing her more than $1,000 and 6 days in jail.
For illegally parking the car.
Right. From 2007 to 2014, the woman was arrested twice, spent 6 days in jail. That's the black woman.
6 days in jail.
6 days in jail, and paid $550 to the court for the event stemming from this single instance of illegal parking. Now that's some trauma for you right there.
Her ticket, her parking ticket was $500 to some dollars plus the other things that you saw there.
Right. The disproportionate number of arrests, tickets, and use of force stemmed from unlawful bias. Now, this is the Department of Justice, what their findings
This woman that this Edomite woman was speaking against.
Right, because it's a black woman that's over the Department of Justice. Prior to her was a black man. I forgot both their names. The disproportionate number of arrests, tickets, and use of force stem from unlawful bias rather than black people committing more crime. Our investigation has revealed that these disparities occur, at least in part, because of unlawful bias against and stereotypes about African Americans. So I'm reading this because the devil white woman said perhaps the Department of Justice, the black woman that's over it, failed. I believe it was a black man who was over it during the time when this report was written. Go up. A single missed late or partial payment of a fine could mean jail time. Come up. Further, the court treats a single missed, partial, or untimely payment as a missed appearance in court. In such a case, the court immediately issues an arrest warrant, they call it a bench warrant, without any notice or opportunity to explain why a payment was missed. Right, anything could happen.
Right, exactly.
Arrest warrants are almost exclusively used as threats to push for payments. The evidence we have found shows that these arrest warrants are used almost exclusively for the purpose of compelling payment through the threat of incarceration. Paid or we throwing you in jail.
Right.
So this is how Ferguson's getting their money. Off black people, the permanent underclass. And if time is served, no credit for jail time is received, and the length of time isn't even recorded by the court. So if you could be in jail, let's say you're in jail a year before they see your case, you don't get time served. They said, well, the time you're given, this was
whatever your sentence is after they give you that, they...
Exactly. As a result, there have been many cases in which a person has been arrested on a warrant, detained for 72 hours or more, and released owing the same amount as before the arrest was made. This is crazy. Come on. These allegations are consistent with other independent allegations of misconduct that we heard about this particular lieutenant. and reflect the routinely disrespectful treatment of many African Americans say they have come to expect from Ferguson's police. Now, what the Department of Justice was supposed to do, all these cops that's doing all that they found guilty should have all been terminated, every last one of them. But you know what they always do? We'll give them training. And that's BS. Because they've got the same behavioral training that they consistently give. Come on, was there more? Officers used a dog to attack an unarmed 14-year-old black boy and then struck him while he was lying on the ground, all while he was waiting for his friends in an abandoned house. The report concludes that in every dog bite incident report, the person bitten was black. Now, you might ask, well, why was he in an abandoned house? Let me tell you, when you're in poverty, that's what you do. When we lived in South Bronx, I lived on Caldwell Avenue. When they went there, if y'all look at on Netflix, what's the name of that movie I told you to look at? The Get Down. They show you kids playing in abandoned. That's what we did. We didn't have a playground. We didn't have swimming pools. We played in abandoned buildings.
We did the same thing. That was our playground.
Exactly. FDP officers struck him while he was on the ground, one of them putting a boot on the side of his head. He recalled the officers laughing about the incident afterward. So we're going to give the officer more training. How about termination? How about that? After an officer assaulted a man, he demanded the man not pass out because he didn't want to carry him to his car. You hear this? He beating the hell out of you, telling you don't pass out because I don't want to carry you. When the man responded, good luck with that, the officer slammed his face into the wall. And after the man fell to the floor, the officer said, don't pass out, mother effer, because I am not carrying you to my car. Come on. From October 2012 to October 2014, every time a person was arrested because he or she was resisting arrest, that person was black.
You see, they have resisting arrest in quotes.
Right. That's the brother, Attorney
Right.
General Eric Holder.
Holder. Right.
Go back up so I can read that last sentence. No, okay. Notably, on 14 occasions,
That it was saying there.
FPD listed the only reason for an arrest following a traffic stop as resisting arrest. In all 14 of those cases, the person arrested was black. So this is what the stupid white woman, she's going to talk about the Department of Justice. They found out all this. It's the government not enforcing the things that's being seen, okay? All these cops should be terminated, hire an entire new police force. I mean, the ones that are guilty of these things that they found out. Okay, so his name was Eric Holder. He was just before the black woman that's in there now. I thought you had something?
Real quick, get Ecclesiasticus 13 and 22. This goes into that woman, the demon, and this also goes into Kaepernick, 22 and 23.
Sirach, chapter 13 and verse 22. When a rich man is fallen, he hath many helpers.
When rich men or Edomites say dumb things or stupid things, they have help. They get support, and it's dismissed. Go ahead.
He speaketh things not to be spoken.
Like Donald Trump does this, and no one does nothing about him. He talks recklessly. What's his name? On the Obama, Romney, Mitt Romney, reckless speaker. Much
Biden
support.
too, Biden.
And Biden also, reckless speakers. He said, I own slaves. The guy was reckless. No, nothing happened to him. Go ahead, he had helpers. Go ahead.
And yet men justify him.
And yet he's justified. Well, he's speaking what we're thinking. Go ahead.
The poor man slipped.
Now, us, our people, will slip, say something. Maybe my mistake. We slip. Go ahead.
And yet they rebuked him too.
And they'll blast us like they're doing Kaepernick. Go ahead.
He spake wisely.
And Kaepernick spoke very wisely on there. Held himself very well. Go ahead.
And could have no place.
And they're going to get rid of him. Read next verse.
When a rich man speaketh.
When Edom, let's put rich white folks here. When Edomites speak, go ahead.
Every man holdeth his tongue.
Everyone's quiet. Hold on. White master's talking. Shh, be quiet.
E.F. Hutton speaking.
Shh, be quiet. Tommy Lawrence speaking. Go ahead.
And look what he saith. They extol it to the clouds.
Even his theories become facts. That's Esau. Go ahead.
But if the poor man speak.
But if Kaepernick speaks, or brothers or sisters speak on the injustices of our people, go ahead.
They say, what fellow is this?
Who this nigga? Who you think he is? Who you think he talking to? Being disrespectful. It's the same thing. Go ahead.
And if he stumble.
And if he says one wrong thing or makes any mistake at all of any kind, go ahead.
They will help to overthrow.
They will get rid of them. Like the brothers in the Black Power movement.
Yep.
Same thing. Same exact thing.
Deacon Nathan, where'd you read that from?
That was Sirach 13, verse 22 and 23.
So, like the brothers, like you said, so they fired them, the two brothers, John Carlos and Tommy Smith. When they came back to America, they couldn't get work. They couldn't even go back to the Olympics. That's what they did.
And Harry Belafonte caught hell. They caught a firestorm of hell also.
Harry Belafonte as well as Jim Brown caught hell. And he did that also. Muhammad Ali, how could we forget him? Muhammad Ali, same thing, because he didn't want to go through with the draft.
And Bishop, remember there was something with that soccer player that put his hand up, and they said that was in defiance. I forgot. I don't know if he did a peace sign or he put a fist up. I think it was Pele. And they complained at the soccer match that this guy put his hand up as a sign of black empowerment. So this has been an ongoing thing.
Right.
Can I say something real quick, Bishop? On the scripture that you read, Deacon Ithon, could he read verse 23 again? Just real quick.
When a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue.
When a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue. Like you said, E.F. Hutton. Go ahead.
And look what he saith.
And they pay attention. Go ahead.
They extol it to the clouds.
They extol it to, like this was the grand, the Most High spoke. Go ahead.
But if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this?
You want to know what I'm thinking about this here? We can read Christ as black, and it means nothing. The white man to come and lie and say Jesus looked like Charles Manson, and the whole world believes it. And there's no scripture in the Bible that says that.
Good point. Give me the Jersey video now. So this is what happened with Kaepernick. People say, "Oh, look, he's doing that because he's rich. He got money. He's gonna lose everything."
I've been getting a lot of slack on Facebook over the recent controversies, so I just wanted to make my point clear. Here we go. America first.
Throw it down.
Still taping?
Yeah.
Forever faithful.
Get back.
As you can tell, I don't have one because I never liked him anyways, but I'm gonna join the train. Fuck him. Ooh, it's getting hot in here. We miss you, Alex.
Still a Niners fan, though.
Hi, my name is Jerry Large. I'm a United States veteran, 100% disabled veteran. You sit on every grave for anybody who has ever lost their life, Colin Kaepernick, and for this country, for fighting for freedom. I bought a military jersey at your end of the game 2 years ago when my dad was dying of cancer. I came home and bought this jersey because I was proud, because it was a military jersey by Colin Kaepernick. Today, sir, you lose that right to wear this jersey. No one should ever wear a jersey with your name on it again. No longer a fan of you. I was a fan of you. This is what I think of you. Sitting on that American flag, there's a mother who holds it because her son is in the ground, or her daughter's in the ground, or her husband. Maybe there's a husband who lost a daughter and a wife. You are a low-level piece of crap. Let me repeat that. You are a low-level piece of crap. That's what happens to people who sit on the American flag or sit during the national anthem. I'm a proud American, and I live in a foreign land. Stand up, America. Don't allow these athletes to do this just because they make money and they think they have a voice. God bless America, and God bless veterans and everybody who's fallen.
Okay, we're into that. Give me, what's the one you said, Psalms 130, Psalms
137.
137, thank you. We don't love you, nagger.
And what y'all looking at here on these series of videos with these people doing these things here? This is creating a climate to take him out. Because as the people become more and more inflamed against him, that means they hope to remove his protection, remove his friends, and have him standing out there lowly for an assassination attempt. I don't mean literally, but you understand what I mean. Like they did Bill Cosby. I'm using that as an example. What they wanted, they ridiculed him throughout the media until they came and trumped up something, swayed public opinion. Then they said, now that he's been ostracized by his own and got his own people speaking against him, now we could go take him out.
Well, that's what they did with Tommy Smith
exactly.
and
there you go.
John
with
Collins.
the other brothers. Exactly.
Lost everything.
Exactly. That's how they do.
America
That's
does.
how they do.
And that's what they trying to do to us.
Exactly. There you go. That's what I'm bringing it to.
Exactly. Come
With
on.
SPLC. Same mess.
Psalms 137, verse 1.
Yeah.
Verse 1. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down. Yea, we wept when we remembered Zion.
So by the rivers of Babylon, making reference to the rivers along the shores of the United States of America. There we sat down when we remembered our homeland. Come on.
We hanged our harps upon the willows.
We had no more joy. The weeping willows is making reference to. Go ahead.
In the midst thereof. For there they that carried us away captive.
This precept's Deuteronomy 28:68. For there they that carried us away captive, meaning the white man that carried us away captive,
required of us a song.
Required of us entertainment. Go ahead.
And they that wasted us.
And they that destroyed us mentally, spiritually, economically, militarily.
Required of us mirth.
Make us laugh. Entertain us. Entertain us. Go ahead.
Saying, sing us one of the songs of Zion.
Uh-huh.
How shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land?
How can we do the Lord's song, sing the Lord's song in a strange land? How can we sing the anthem? Right, exactly, right. How can we sing the anthem? How can we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? Give me the national anthem. Okay, we're going to go to 7 minutes. Captain Isaac, can you go to Luke 8, verse 17? I want you to listen to something what the Savior said. Christ, the black Messiah, said. In Luke 8:17.
The book of Luke, chapter 8, verse 17. For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest.
Nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest. Go ahead.
Neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad.
So you know why that's heavy? Because there's a lot of things done here in Babylon that have been kept secret. Christ said it's going to be revealed. Okay. Now, we can use that for the scriptures, but I want to use it historically. Many times, white society tries to hide their evil, okay? And it only comes out because somebody either stumbled across it, that's how it usually comes, like the African burial ground downtown around Wall Street. They got documentaries now with white people explaining that's BS. It was discovered accidentally. They had built 3 layers on top of it. It was discovered by accident. Nobody was supposed to find that.
Because the Edomites always knew it was there. They know what they did with us.
Because guess what? They teach in school that slavery was not in New York. There was no slavery here. That lie got destroyed when they found the burial ground. But that's what Edom does. They hide their evil. Even about gator bait. White man didn't come out with that. That was stumbled across where a brother went into a store and asked the white guy, what's that thing with the alligator? And the Klansman explained about gator bait and how they got their leather shoes and leather belts and leather hats, things of that nature. Then there was the zoos, the Bronx Zoo that had black people in their zoos. White men didn't bring that out. It was discovered by accident. So read the verse again.
Luke 8 and verse 17. For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad.
So the Lord is going to make sure you're going to find out that this white man, who our people love so dearly, is the nation of Edom, the biblical devil the Bible speaks of. Right, you want to marry him, be called nigger bitch. So now let's start at 7 minutes with this brother right here.
It is a militaristic song. It is a song that was born out of a military struggle that took place well over 150 years ago. and it came out of that period, and it's probably fairly appropriate for the time. Whether it is appropriate for this day and age is another question to be asked.
You know, Sierra Bell, you do know about our nation's anthem, correct? Yes. Now, previously to our conversation, did you know that there were 4 stanzas to our Star Spangled Banner?
I believe so, yes.
4 parts? Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Did you know that there were 4 parts to the Star Spangled Banner?
No. No.
I don't know much about it. I didn't know that there were more stanzas, but I didn't know what the stanzas were.
In the case of the Star Spangled Banner, you don't go to the 3rd verse because the 3rd verse is a very troubling verse. The 1st verse celebrates the victory that took place at Fort McHenry in September of 1814. But the 3rd verse decries the flight of blacks from slavery to the British side to serve in the British Army during that battle that occurred earlier in August of 1814 when the British attacked the Battle of Bladensburg, just outside of Washington, D.C.
And where is that man who so vauntingly swore
that the havoc of war and the battle's confusion, our home and their country should leave us no more.
Their blood has wiped out their foul footsteps pollution.
A refuge could save their erring enslaved from the terror of flight or the gloom of the grave.
And the Star Spangled Banner in triumph doth wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
I feel like, well, there's obviously a reason why they left it out. Because a lot of people wouldn't be willing to say it anymore if they knew that this was a key component.
I'm taking it as that the Star Spangled Banner wasn't intended for black people. That's just reading that, that's how I'm portraying it now.
I feel like this definitely needs to be included as far as how our nation is represented. Although maybe the wording, it can kind of be misconstrued in a certain way.
It's kind of contradictory to the song because if this is about freedom and then they're talking about slavery inside of it, then it just contradicts the point. I probably wouldn't sing it anymore, actually. Or even, I don't know. I wouldn't give it as much respect as I do now.
Yeah, that's sketchy. And I don't know why this hasn't been talked about before. I mean, I guess because people don't know about it, but this needs to be, people need to be aware of this because that's not cool.
I guess it kind of made it seem like the slaves were evil in a way, because they said that they fought for the British. And the main thing is they're just trying to fight for their freedom.
So they sing it with the stanza, the 3rd.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight.
home and a country should leave us no more. Their blood is washed out. Their foul footsteps pollution. Here's the slave part. No refuge could save. The hireling and slave. From the terror of flight. Or the gloom of the grave. And the Star-Spangled Banner. In triumph doth wave. Over the land of the free and the home of the brave. Well, alrighty then. So, when Britain was fighting against America, they told the slaves here in America, if you join us, you get your freedom. So many blacks joined Britain, not that they loved Britain, but they wanted their freedom. So that's why they said their blood has, when America was winning, their blood has washed out their foul footsteps pollution, meaning of the British. No refuge could save the highly, meaning those free blacks that joined, and slave, meaning when you had slaves that joined, no refuge could save the hireling and slave from the terror of flight, because America was putting them to death, or the gloom of the grave. So they left that whole part out, and they get mad. They hid that part. You're not saying that's for you. That's for all of us. No. Now we're finding, no, this was never for us.
Exactly. And that's what the sister said.
Exactly.
You had the two sisters that understood what it meant. Here go the brother. Maybe it was misconstrued. What the hell's wrong with him? He showed pure weakness when the two sisters actually had more strength to say what it really was.
Exactly. So we should never stand for the national anthem, ever. Now that we know that, be a fool to stand up for it.
On top of what the bishop just said, the pressure that they're putting on the football player for not wanting to partake in the festivities of America. They use war veterans. So now you have information to see who the real war veterans were that were not acknowledged. The ones who they promised freedom, you seen it with your own eyes, put them in there to fight other white people, and then after they got the victory, they treat them like crap again. Okay, so what about those war veterans? The next time they talk about their war veterans, bring those up. The ones that helped them, that defend them when they had beef with other white people. Because the key thing they want to use is the blood of the military, the servicemen that go overseas for wars that they start. Okay? The wars that you see going on, they started it. And then they complain about the people that die. And if you examine how all the wars were started, take it all the way back to the Rome, it was Esau at the head of it. Okay? They always were in places in the Bible documents that they don't stay at home. They're in everybody else's soil.
Right. Exactly.
And that Jake that said it getting misconstrued goes right back to Ecclesiastes where it says the rich man says something and it's justified. We say something and he's thrown away. It's the same exact thing again.
Exactly. Get Lamentations 4:17.
Lamentation chapter 4 verse 17. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help.
America is our vain help. The white man, the so-called white man, is really Esau, is our vain help. Read it again.
As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help.
Useless help. Go ahead.
In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
That's what the Bible prophesies. We have watched for America who cannot save us. Give me that 2 Thessalonians 2. Then shall that wicked be revealed. Give me that one. Right, thank you. 2 and 8. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 8.
And then shall that wicked be revealed.
So what we're seeing now is that the wicked, who was Esau, is being revealed. He's being revealed. The Bible is what reveals him. We're using the various historic evidences to couple it with the Bible, like we're doing in today's lesson, showing you that the Star-Spangled Banner, that was written by the wicked. It had nothing to do for our people at all. Now they're being revealed. Go ahead.
Whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth.
The Lord's mouth is his Bible. That's the spirit of the Lord's mouth, the Holy Bible. Go ahead.
And shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
And that's what we're waiting for patiently. When the Lord returns, he's going to destroy America and her allies with the brightness of his coming. Now, give me Daniel chapter 3. I want to show you that what Colin Kaepernick did today is nothing different than our forefathers in the past. Daniel 3 and 1.
Daniel chapter 3 and verse 1. Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of gold, whose height was 80 cubits, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dura.
So he made a huge image for everyone to bow down and worship. Go ahead.
In the province of Babylon. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king sent to gather together the princes, the governors, and the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces, to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. Then the princes, the governors and captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. And they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then an herald cried aloud, to you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages.
Now listen to this. Go ahead.
That at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet.
When the music starts to play. Go ahead.
Flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king hath set up.
So this is the same thing. They say when you hear the music start to play, fall down and worship. Today they say when you hear the music start to play, stand up and put your hand on your chest. It is the same analogy.
Do y'all see that? We're reading the Star-Spangled Banner right here in the Bible.
Exactly. Read on.
Verse 6. And whoso falleth not down and worshipeth shall the same hour be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace.
They say whoever don't fall down and worship, kill him. So now they're saying destroy him financially. Burn everything. Burn his jersey. Have him lose his job. Everything. It's the same similitude.
See, this is what makes me sick about some of our people. They think the Bible is a fairy tale. This Bible, did you see how real the Bible is? You're looking at the Bible right now on television. Up on the screen. Literally what we're seeing is exactly what we just read. Literally. All those verses that we read is exactly what we just witnessed.
Exactly. Now go to 2 Maccabees chapter 6. So y'all can read the rest of the chapter on your own because it happened with, they were Mishael, Azariah, and Shiloh. Was it Shiloh? Shadrach. I went to Hebrew names. Mishael. Okay. Azariah, Hananiah, and Mishael. They refused to follow that command. And they got thrown in the fiery furnace. Oh, there's only 3 of them. 3 of them. Remember that. So that's why it's always going to be a small remnant that stands for the Lord's word. Come on, Isaac. You got it? 2 Maccabees 6:18.
6 and verse 18. Eleazar, one of the principal scribes, an aged man, and of a well-favored countenance, was constrained to open his mouth.
Now, what's happening here is the Greeks sent for ambassadors to have all the Israelites break God's law by eating swine's flesh offered to idols. Go ahead.
And to eat swine's flesh. But he, choosing rather to die gloriously than to live stained with such an abomination, spit it forth, and came of his own accord to the torment. As it behooved them to come, that are resolute to stand out against such things, as are not lawful for love of life to be tasted.
So they wanted this old brother, Eleazar, to eat this swine in front of all the people. Watch what he says.
But they that had the charge of that wicked feast, For the old acquaintance they had with the man.
They had sent Israelites with these Greeks to enforce that. That's why it says with the old acquaintance, meaning friendship, they had with the man. Go ahead.
Taking him aside, besought him to bring flesh of his own provision.
Bring your own meat. Bring some beef or chicken. Bring whatever you want from your own house, your own provision. Go ahead.
Such as was lawful for him to use, and make as if he
Look
did.
at it. And make as if. Make as if he did what?
He did eat of the flesh taken from the sacrifice commanded by the king.
Make believe you're eating this swine that's offered to these idols. Go ahead.
That in so doing, he might be delivered from death.
This will save you from being put to death. Go ahead.
And for the old friendship with them find favor.
Come on.
But he began to consider discreetly.
Listen good to this. It's very important for everyone in the room.
And as became his age, and the excellency of his ancient years, and the honor of his gray head, whereunto he was come, and his most honest education from a child.
He was educated in God's laws from a child. Go ahead.
Or rather the holy law made and given by God.
That was his education.
Therefore he answered accordingly, and willed them straightways to send him to the grave.
You see, y'all just need to kill me now. He's going to explain why.
For it becometh not our age, said he, in any wise to dissemble, whereby many young persons might think that Eleazar, being 80 years old and 10,
that's 90 years old,
were now gone to a strange religion.
He said it would be foolish for me to do this, and the young men will think that I've gone to a strange religion in my old age.
That meant all of the hard work and the honor and everything that he built would have got destroyed by that stupid move.
Exactly.
He would generations would have followed his bad example, and he say, you know what? All these years that I put into this thing, I got to die with it.
Exactly.
And Bishop, that shows, unlike the people now, they cared about their reputation back then.
Right.
Because he could have been like, look, I'm old. I don't care. I could just die. But he was like, in my old age, I don't want to leave a bad example for you. And a lot of y'all don't care how you look to the public.
Exactly. Read.
Verse 25. And so they, through mine hypocrisy.
And so they, meaning the young men, through my hypocrisy, making believe I'm eating lawful meat. Oh, no. Eating lawful meat, but it gives the appearance I'm eating unlawful meat, sacrificed to idols. That's the hypocrisy. Go ahead.
And desire to live a little time and a moment longer should be deceived by me. And I get a stain to mine old age, and maketh it abominable.
Y'all see that? Go ahead.
For though for the present time I should be delivered from the punishment of men, yet should I not escape the hand of the Almighty, neither alive nor dead.
Right, because you're not going to escape, because the best teaching you ever do is your example. You make believe you're doing something knowing that you're not really doing it, but you give the appearance, and all the young men follow your example. He did it, so I'm going to do it too. He's my teacher. He's my instructor. Then all their blood is on whose hand? On whose head? Yours. Go ahead.
Wherefore now, manfully changing this life, I will show myself such an one as mine age requireth.
And notice he said, I might escape death by your hands, but I will not escape death by God. Right? Go ahead.
And leave a notable example.
That's what all of us, men, women, listen good. Our job is to leave a notable example. Go ahead.
To such as be young to die willingly and courageously for the honorable and holy laws. And when he had said these words, immediately he went to the torment.
Y'all see how our forefathers got down? This is the level we have to build our minds to. Most of us ain't there yet, but we have to get there. We have to.
One more thing, Bishop. Let's use the analogy of why they wanted him to pretend that he was eating unlawful food. It's for the same reason why they want him to salute that flag. It's the no different, because they know if this man takes a stand, all of you will follow. Because they know the mind of black people. You're like sheep led to the slaughter. But when you see a strong leader, that's why Christ is called our shepherd. When you see strong men leading you, you will follow.
Hey, I'm going to mention something else, too. Don't you know that this system is so wicked that they look to shear off minds like that? And I'm talking about in that graveyard called the educational system. While your children are inside the school system, they're watching to see who's the smart minds. They're looking and they say, you know what, he looked like he might be a leader. Let's start to work on him now. Call him a troublemaker, give him labels and all that, and have him in ADHD and all that garbage. That's how they do. That's how they do. So they watch for him. And then when you find one that escaped and end up on the NFL standing up like this, they say, how the hell did he escape us? How did he get past our web of lies and traps? How did he get? I'm telling you, that's how they think.
Right, because the National Football League or Nigger Football League is not meant for minds that are able to think.
They want gridiron runners. That's what they want.
Exactly. Give me that Second Maccabees 4:10. The NFL was, and NBA, the entire entertainment industry, I'll use that, including rappers, sing, all of that, all of them, actors too. Their minds, they're meted out, and they're meant to manipulate the people. That's what they call it Hollywood.
Right.
Your job is to put a spell on the people to get them to follow our lies.
Right.
That's
We
what
don't
they
need
wanna
you
do.
to think. We don't want you. When you get up in these levels, we want your thinking gone.
Exactly. Second Maccabees 4 and 10.
Which when the king had granted, and he had gotten into his hand the rule.
This is talking about Jason, okay, the brother of Onias. Go ahead.
He forthwith brought his own nation to the Greekish fashion.
So his job was to bring the Israelites to the Greekish fashion, meaning to the customs of the white man. Go ahead.
And the royal privileges granted of special favor.
You got royal privileges granted to you. Go ahead.
Granted of special favor to the Jews.
Y'all see that? Go ahead.
By the means of John, the father of
Eupolemus,
who went ambassador to Rome for amity and aid. He took away, and putting down the governments which were according to the law, he brought up new customs against the law.
So their job was to put down the governments of the law, meaning all the law stipulations of the Most High. Put that down. Go ahead.
For he built gladly a place of exercise under the tower itself, and brought the chief young men,
meaning the best young men, the strongest young men,
under his subjection, and made them wear a hat.
Go ahead.
Now, such was the height of Greek fashion.
This was the height of Greek fashions.
An increase of heathenish manners.
And it was the increase of heathenish manners. This is why Christ said, and because sin shall abound, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Go ahead.
Through the exceeding profaneness of Jason, that ungodly wretch and no high priest.
Because Jason paid his way to be high priest. Go ahead.
That the priest had no courage to serve any more at the altar.
That's the objective of putting down the law. You got granted special privileges, so therefore the priest had no courage to serve any more at the altar. Go ahead.
But despising the temple and neglecting the sacrifices, hastened to be partakers of the unlawful allowance in the place of exercise after the game of discus called them forth.
So their job in the sports world was to make you turn away from God's laws, hate your own ancestry, and love the white man best of all. Let's go and say that too. Go ahead.
Not setting by the honors of their fathers, but liking the glory of the Grecians best of all.
This is why you have that confusion now with Kaepernick. You have one standing for the forefathers, allegedly. I know he has not repented as yet. But he's trying to show some kind of integrity. Thank you, that's the word. And the rest of the black players and Latin players are no, man. You got to do this thing. You're supposed to stand with the white man. Go ahead.
They were the ones that was trying to tell Eleazar to get the meat thing.
Right, exactly. Go ahead.
By reason whereof sore calamity came upon them.
15 again.
Verse 15. Not setting by the honors of their fathers, but liking the glory of the Grecians best of all.
Meaning liking the glory of the white man best of all. It's the same mindset back then as it is today. There's no difference. Nothing has changed. Go ahead.
By reason whereof sore calamity came upon them. For they had them to be their enemies and avengers.
So at one time, the Greeks, the white men, were our enemies and avengers. Go ahead.
Whose custom they followed so earnestly.
We now followed our enemies and avengers so earnestly. Go ahead.
And unto whom they desired to be like in all things.
And we desire to be like the white man in all things. So nothing has changed from then to now. It is the same mentality, the same state of mind. Shalom, Israel. I'm Elder Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. YouTube likes to shut our channels down, as some of you have noticed, ever so often. Subscribing to join IUIC will assure you will always stay connected to our YouTube accounts. We want to do our best to make sure this truth gets out. Please click and join our subscriber YouTube channel called Join IUIC to stay linked to all of our videos. So again, please make sure you subscribe to this Join IUIC channel to get your latest updates from all our YouTube channels. Shalom.